Applause as the coffin of Pope Francis was lifted shoulder high, with the 88-year-old brought from the Basilica out to St. Peter's Square, where 50,000 people had gathered to celebrate his life. Approximately 150,000 others lined the streets of Rome as the funeral mass took place. Earlier in the day, world leaders filed past his coffin to pay their final respects, including An Tugthrán Michael D. Higgins, An Taoiseach and An Taoiseach. President Donald Trump in attendance, as was Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. During the ceremony, the Pontiff's calls for peace and migrant care were repeated.
Costruire ponti.
The celebrant Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re saying, "War always leaves the world worse than it was before. It is always a painful and tragic defeat for everyone. Build bridges, not walls," was an exhortation that Pope Francis repeated many times. Thousands had camped on the streets of the city throughout the night ahead of today's funeral mass, travelling to Rome from all corners of the world to say their own personal goodbyes.
My friend and myself had come for the appointment of Pope Francis. We were here at the conclave in 2013, so we're feeling more than privileged and honoured to be here. We followed him through, we've seen him in Ireland, and it was a great honour, yes.
We left our hotel at 6 and we have, some of us got priority treatment because we had difficulties, and it was great. But we had to stand for most of the ceremony, but we didn't mind that.
We will miss him dearly. He was such a sweet soul, very kind. I've met him several times.
It shows that how he brought everyone together, how he was very humble, how much he cared, how much everyone cares about him too.
As the mass drew to an end, more applause from the crowds. The coffin brought back inside St. Peter's Basilica before being transferred to the Pope Mobile for the final journey through the streets of the city. Pope Francis is the first pope in more than a century that will not be buried in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. At his request, his body will be laid in the Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica, where 7 other popes have also been entombed. A private celebration held as the Pontiff's body was placed in its final resting place. Aisling Nicostala, Virgin Media News.